What's up, guys? Welcome back to FishOfHex. In this video, we're going to be looking at my quarantine rack system, and specifically the foxface that I have here, which has been in quarantine for almost 5 weeks and still has ick. Regardless of 4 weeks of straight copper treatment, even over the recommended dose, he still has ick. And in this video, I want to talk about everything I've done up to this point and what I'm going to do from this point forward to be able to get this fish healthy so I can get him into the 300 gallons. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this foxface. Now, he came in a month ago alongside a clown tang, which unfortunately died during the quarantine process about 2 weeks in. And it's sad because that's my bucket list fish. It's one that I've wanted to have for a very long time, and I've yet to get any of them through quarantine. And this is about my 5th or 6th time trying. So we'll have to figure something else out and hopefully get one of them through. But either way, the foxface lived on, showed no signs of ick through the process up until about 2.5 weeks when he first showed a couple spots. Now, I do want to mention I always have at least a half a dose of copper in all my quarantine tanks all the time. That way, when I put a fish in there, he's already introduced the copper, and then 48 hours later, I'll dose the second dose, which is per the instructions on the Cupramine, and that will get them up to the recommended dose for this tank. Now, it's a 1 milliliter dose per 10.5 gallons, so I always do 2 milliliters for the first time, and then 48 hours later, another 2 milliliters, giving it about a total of 4. Now, the foxface wasn't his recommended amount of copper from 48 hours on. Now, because he didn't show any signs until after that 14-day period, which doesn't always happen, but in some cases it does, I kept him in copper and actually increased the dose by 1 more milliliter because I don't really know if Cupramine expires. I've looked all over the forums. I can't find anything on the bottle. I wonder, after using this for 3 years, if maybe the concentration of the Cupramine has I don't know, diminished or it's expired. If anybody knows or can find out, please let me know. I've looked all over, and maybe there's just not enough hours in a day for me to continue to research on it. I've already ordered a new bottle just because I have a feeling it might be something like that. But either way, with the foxface being in quarantine for 4 weeks with copper treatment, a dose and a half, so he was with the 4 milliliters, then it was up to 6 milliliters total in that tank, did not do a water change the entire time. I monitored his feeding, I kept an eye on the ammonia, all that good stuff, and because my tanks are already cycled, I wasn't really worried about him having any kind of ammonia spikes, and with not overfeeding, it wasn't really going to be a big deal going that long without a water change. Now, I do want to mention that I do not dose any other products alongside with Cupramine. I used to dose Pro with it, but I found that it was a little too stressful for the fish. Even though I used half the recommended dose, a lot of fish were sensitive to that mixture. For whatever reason, I just stopped doing that. So I will do, with all my fish, I'll do the copper treatment, and then I'll do a big water change once the ick and I can confirm that's gone, and then I'll do a treatment of Pro separately. That way I don't have to worry about having any issues with the medications coming together. So long story short, the foxface has been in quarantine, no water changes, with a full dose and a half of copper, up to the point where it was actually starting to burn his skin, and I tank transferred him because he was showing a lot of stress, and yet the next day he still had ick. So what am I going to do now? Well, the next step to curing ick for me, which worked when this happened last time, is to go ahead and drop the quarantine tank into hyposalinity. Now, what I'll do is I'll keep that fish in hyposalinity for 4 weeks, maybe 5 or 6, depending on kind of how the fish is doing. Then I will slowly bring up the salinity to 1.025 over a week time, and then do a 2-week observation, and then do an additional 14 days of copper treatment. So it's going to be a long process because you guys know that I really take a lot of time to make sure that the fish that go into the 300 are healthy, because God forbid if something goes in there and is not, it's going to wipe out the 30 plus fish that I already have, which looks like barely having any fish in that tank, and I can't wait to actually get a lot more. So this whole process is pretty frustrating, but I know that if I take the time and get this fish through this process, he will be okay and be a great addition to that new tank. Now, that is the plan for the foxface. He's currently being dropped down to 1.009. Right now, he's at 1.018. So, of course, we got to go slow on this process. I know when you drop the salinity, you don't have to go as slow as if you were increasing it. But because he's stressed out, showing signs of ick, I'm going to take a few days to get that down to the recommended level for hyposalinity. So, with that being said, I do have some good news. I finally got the purple tang in the 300 gallon. Now, he was in quarantine for about 5 weeks, full dose of copper the whole time. He never showed any signs of ick the entire time. Even his previous tank, he didn't show any signs. So I felt confident enough to go ahead and put him in the tank. Now, because of the dose of copper, I did keep him in there because his previous tank had ick in it. Even though he didn't show any signs, I still kept him in a full dose of copper for 30 days to the point where it was stressing him out, it looked like it was causing some damage to his skin. But either way, I went ahead and transferred him into the 300 gallon. Now, when I originally put him in there, he was getting bullied by the other tanks because he's about 1/3 the size of that blue tang. And he got bullied for about 25 minutes, not even a half an hour. Then all of a sudden, the entire group bundled up and decided to go after the yellow tang again. You guys know that yellow tang was a jerk to everybody before. Then he started bullying the purple tang, and then all of a sudden, the whole tank turned on him again. Because if you remember, he was beat up for a while, then he got really healthy. The other tangs left him alone, and then I guess he started bullying this new tang, and everybody decided to go back after him. So he's up in the corner. He's super stressed out. He's losing fins. He's getting beat up. So I'm probably going to pull him out, put him in quarantine, and also try to figure out what's going on with his stomach. Because a lot of you guys ask, what's going on with him? Why is he so skinny? He's been like that the entire time I've had him. He went through Prazipro, internal, external treatments. He was fat and healthy in quarantine. He eats a ton of food in here. I don't really know. I know that some yellow tangs have that situation, and I've seen it before with other yellow tangs that with every other fish in the tank being fat and healthy, they just seem to be stressed out. Sounds like there's a plane going over, yeah, or a military helicopter, one or the other. But either way, the purple tang's in there. He's doing great. He's starting to heal up, and hopefully he will be a great addition and really fit into the tank. But other than that, guys, that's about it for this video. I wanted to share this experience with you just in case you guys are going through the same thing. Remember, quarantining your fish and your coral are the most important things you can do in this hobby. If you want to go a step further, quarantine your inverts. And I have a ton of videos on the channel if you guys want to check those out. Those links will be in the description for those playlists. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you know anything about Cupramine expiring, even though I got a new bottle, I would really like to know. So please let me know. All right, guys, until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.